Gray clouds are heavy tonight. The cafe is quiet and dry. I watch the pedestrians hurry along under a darkening sky. The waiter is cleaning the tables next door, sweeping the dust from the wooden floor, while I sit alone with my tea. The window is fogged with my breath, tracing a circle of air, wishing that you could be sitting with me, pulling up one empty chair. Outside the water is falling so fast, washing away all the ghosts of our past. Every small droplet is singing a song of a love that has wandered too long. The street lights are starting to glow, reflecting like gold on the street. The sound of the traffic is far, far away, where the city and river will meet. I turn the gold ring on my finger again, hoping that you'd understand. We were so young in the heat of July, never expecting the well would run dry. Now that the autumn has taken the stage, we must turn to the very next page. Warm in the grate, but cold is the space by my side. I watch as the shadows dance over the wall with nowhere to run or to hide. I take one more sip as the night starts to end, waiting for you, my old friend. Outside the water is falling so fast, washing away all the ghosts of our past. Every small droplet is singing a song of a love that has wandered too long.
Holding this faded blue paper, found in the back of a drawer, written in ink that has started to fade, from a time we cannot restore. You spoke of the hills and the sea, and how you were longing for me. The stamp has a picture of royalty past, a relic of things that we thought would last, a message sent over the ocean so wide, with secrets we no longer hide. Just a few sentences written in haste, not a single sweet word gone to waste. I wonder where you are tonight. Are you still chasing the sun, or did you settle down in a quiet old town quite the same. Time is a river that flows to the deep, carrying secrets we promised to keep. But looking at this makes the memory clear, as if you were standing right here. The envelope smells of old lavender spice, reminding me of your advice to live in the moment and never look back, even when skies are turning to black. I fold it up gently and put it away to keep for another cold day. A message sent over the ocean so wide, with secrets we no longer hide. Just a few sentences written in haste, not a single sweet word gone to waste.
Walk with me under the street lamps, where the river is whispering low. The stone underfoot has been polished by time, and the water is starting to glow. The wind plays a tune in the air, tangling the strands of your hair. We don't need a map or a guide, with the moon rising high as our tide. This is the hour when the city belongs to the dreamers who write all the songs, strolling together with nowhere to go, while the cold winter waters still flow. The towers of stone in the distance stand tall in the shadows of blue. I pull my wool collar up tight to my chin as I steal a quick look over at you. Your hands in your pockets are warm, sheltered away from the storm. No one can find us out here in the dark, leaving behind every worry and spark. Just two quiet figures against the night sky, watching the quiet world go by. The barges are anchored and sleeping in peace, waiting for daylight to bring their release. But we are awake and we feel so alive in this beautiful midnight archive. I take your warm hand in my own, under this canopy of stone. This is the hour when the city belongs to the dreamers who write all the songs, strolling together with nowhere to go, while the cold winter waters still flow.
Dust off the black plastic circle, gently lowering down the small needle. A crackle of static before the first chord, like a voice that is fragile and feeble. The melody fills up the room, chasing away all the gloom. It sounds like a warm afternoon in the park, before all the shadows grow dark. Let the sweet music rotate around, sinking deep into the beautiful sound. A waltz from a decade we never did know, where all of the dancers move slow. The horns are so mellow and distant, the piano is rolling like waves. I close my tired eyes and I picture the scene of the alleyways, bistros and caves, where people would gather to sing, waiting for what youth would bring. Sometimes the old ways are better by far, sipping our drinks by a circular bar. No need for the rush of the modern day scheme, just living inside of a dream. The singer is telling of love and of loss, of crossing the sea at a terrible cost. I feel every word as it spins on the track, and wish I could turn the clock back. But the record is coming to its quiet end. Goodbye to my musical friend. Let the sweet music rotate around, sinking deep into the beautiful sound. A waltz from a decade we never did know, where all of the dancers moved slow.
Sienna and gold on the pathway, a blanket of rust on the grass. The children have taken their toy boats away as the cold autumn days come to pass. The fountains are silent and still, awaiting the winter's first chill. I sit on the green metal chair, feeling the frost in the air. The season is changing, the colors must fade, leaving behind all the memories we made. the decay and the cold, a story that never grows old. A couple is walking quite slowly, arm in arm under the trees, sharing a scarf that is knitted from wool, and ignoring the shivering breeze. They smile as they walk through the park, long before nightfall and dark. We used to run on these gravelly lanes, sheltered by oaks from the summertime rains. Now I just watch as the leaves tumble down onto the streets of the town. The pigeons are nesting under the eaves, shaking their wings in the fallen dry leaves. I stand up and wrap my coat tight to my chest and leave this green garden of rest. For home is a place where the fire is bright to shelter me from the cold night. The season is changing, the colors must fade, leaving behind all the memories we made. But beauty remains in the decay and the cold, a story that never grows old.
Cold to the touch, a small porcelain cup in my hand. The dark bitter liquid is keeping me warm in a way I can scarce understand. A pale cloud of gray in the air drifts over the back of my the hum of the espresso machine fills up the space in between. Bitter and sweet in a single small sip, a touch of the warmth on my lip, watching the world through a window of glass, waiting for hours to pass. The newspaper lies on the table, unread since the hour of dawn. I stare at the headlines of sorrow and joy, but my thoughts have already moved on to a face that I used to know well, under a different spell. We spent all our money on coffee and talk, then wandered for miles on a late evening walk. Now I am sitting with only my thoughts, tying myself up in knots. The sugar dissolves in the bottom of cup as I watch the last spiral of smoke rising up, a metaphor for all the dreams that we chased before they were fully erased. I pay for my drink and I walk out the door to see what the day has in store. watching the world through a window of glass, waiting for hours to pass.
Suddenly everything pauses, the chatter of voices grows dim. My eyes wander over the laughter and light, past the chandelier's sparkling rim. And there in the corner I see a stranger who's looking at me. A momentary suspension of time, like a beautiful unspoken rhyme. No words are spoken, no promises made, just a sweet spark that will never quite fade. An instant of magic before we depart, leaving a mark on my heart.
You hold up a glass in my direction, a subtle and elegant sign. I offer a smile as the music begins in a tempo that's perfectly fine. The crowd moves between us once more, dancing across the wood floor.
Perhaps we will meet on some other sweet night, under a different and softer spotlight. But even if not, I will always recall the sweetest encounter of all.
The violin plays a sweet cabaret,
but my mind is still wandering over to where
you stood in the shadows, so silent and tall,
against the dark wood of the wall.
a ghost of a romance we never did start,
but kept in a vault of my heart. Spoken, no promises made, just a sweet spark that will never quite fade. An instant of magic
before we depart,
leaving a mark on my heart.
screeching of metal on iron, a plume of white steam in the air. The clock on the wall shows the midnight is near, and the station is empty and bare. You stand with your bag by your side, with nowhere to run or to hide. The whistle is blowing so loud, lost in a dark winter cloud. The engine leaving behind all the promises made as all of the bright colors fade. I watch as the taillights diminish, a tiny red dot in the dark. My hands in my pockets are trembling with cold, but I cannot find even a spark to warm up this desolate space. Now that I can't see your face, why did we let all the arguments grow into a mountain of ice and of snow? One little word could have made you remain. Now there is only the train. I turn and I walk to the cold station door, listening to footsteps on marble stone floor. The echoes are hollow and empty and deep, with promises I couldn't keep. I head for the streets where the cold winter wind reminds me of how we have ended. To the cold light of day, leaving behind all the promises made as all of the bright colors fade.
Pen in my trembling hand, an old paper napkin of white. I draw the outline of your gentle face by the flickering candlelight, the curves of your eyes and your hair captured so perfectly there. It's only a simple black ink on a page, a memory locked in a cage, a portrait of moments we used to possess. Beauty I cannot express with just a few lines on a fragile thin sheet. Our history feels so complete. The waiter comes over to clear the cups and the plates from the wood. I fold up the paper and tuck it away to keep it as safe as I should. It sits in my pocket, so near, holding the things I hold dear. Art is a way to remember the grace of a fleeting, beautiful face. Though you are gone to a faraway land, I still have the work of my hand. I look at the drawing when I am alone in this quiet apartment of timber and stone. The lines are a pathway back into the past, where all of our summers could last. I trace the soft ink with with a finger so slow and let the sweet memories flow. A portrait of moments we used to possess, a beauty I cannot express, with just a few lines on a fragile thin sheet. Our history feels so complete.
Darkness is sweeping the alleys. The moon is a silver white bow. The shadows are stretching across the old street in a rhythm that's steady and slow. I hear the faint sound of my heels and wonder how everyone feels. Behind all the shuttered wood blinds, the dreams of all different kinds, walking the pathways where history sleeps, where every dark corner still keeps the secrets of lovers who wandered before, knocking on some heavy door. An old cat is sleeping in peace upon a cold doorstep of stone. The scent of the bakery starting to rise reminds me I am not alone. The world will be waking up soon under a different moon. There is a peace in the middle of night when all of the heavy things feel so light. I could walk here for the rest of my days, lost in the cobblestone maze. The wind plays a whistle through arches of brick as the seconds on grandfather clocks start to tick. I see the first light in the easterly sky and wave all the shadows goodbye. A beautiful journey of quiet and grace in this ancient and magical place. Walking the pathways where history sleeps, where every dark corner still keeps the secrets of lovers who wandered before, knocking on some heavy door.
In the chest by the window, under the blankets of lace. The scent of the summer is lingering still in this quiet and dusty old place. The purple dried flowers remain like summertime after the rain. My grandmother put them away to save for a cold winter day. Sweet lavender perfume is filling the room, chasing away all the wintertime gloom, bringing me back to the fields of the south. A smile on my grandmother's mouth. I smoothed down the linen so white, spreading it over the bed. The texture is rough, but it feels so secure, with a pattern of delicate thread, a simple and beautiful art that warms up my nostalgic heart. The modern day world is so busy and loud, lost in a heavy and mechanical cloud. But here in this room with the scent of the past, I find a sweet peace that will last. I sit on the edge of the mattress and sigh, watching the clouds in the gray winter sky, remembering days when the sun was so bright, we played in the warm golden light. These treasures of fabric and flowers so sweet make my quiet morning complete. Sweet lavender perfume is filling the room, chasing away all the wintertime gloom, bringing me back to the fields of the south. A smile on my grandmother's mouth.
Hello, is the connection still clear? Your voice is so tiny and small. It feels like you're speaking from under the sea on this late night long distance call. I hear a faint crackle and hiss. Is this what our love has come to this? 1,000 long miles of cold copper wire, dampening all of our fire. There's static and noise on the telephone line, and tell me the weather is cold where you are staying tonight, but then the line cuts and I'm left in the dark with only the telephone light. I dial the numbers again, listening close to the rain. We try to hold on to a love that is far, wishing upon the very same star. But distance is heavy and silence is long, and something is going quite wrong. The operator is speaking to me, asking if I want to let the call be. I hang up the receiver and sit on the floor, knowing I won't hear your voice anymore. Just the silence of room and the hum of the light in the middle of Saturday night. There's static and noise on the telephone line, an echoing hum in this dark house of mine. I catch only pieces of what you would say before you fade slowly away.
Baskets of berries and flowers, the smell of fresh cheese in the air. The merchants are calling their prices aloud to the crowds that are gathering there. The sun is so warm on my face in this lively and colorful place. I buy a small baguette of bread and think of the journey ahead. Oh, the sweet bustle of Sunday at noon, humming a happy and beautiful tune, with red ripe tomatoes and green leafy greens, the prettiest sight ever seen. An old man is selling some books, covers of leather and gold. I flip through the pages of stories and poems that are centuries and centuries old. I find a small flower inside that someone once wanted to hide. The city is vibrant and full of sweet life, forgetting the struggle and worry and strife, just for an hour under the sky, watching the shoppers go by. Church bells are ringing across the old square, sending a melody into the air. I walk with my basket of treasure so grand through this beautiful and historical land, happy to be just a part of the scene under the canopy green. Oh, the sweet bustle of Sunday at noon, humming a happy and beautiful tune, with red ripe tomatoes and green leafy greens, the prettiest sight ever seen.
Behind the heavy iron gates, where tourists will never intrude, there lies a small sanctuary of green in a quiet and peaceful latitude. The ivy is climbing the wall, where shadows of bricks start to fall. A secret oasis of rose, where nobody goes. A beautiful garden that's hidden away from all of the noise and the rush of the day. A place where the flowers can bloom in the shade, where memories never will fade. I sit on a bench made of stone and watch a small bird on a tree. It sings a sweet melody, clear and so high, as if it were singing for me. The world is so busy outside, but here I can happily hide. Sometimes we need to find somewhere to breathe, leaving the heavy old world underneath. Just a small corner of green and of grace in a beautiful, quiet old place. The smell of the damp, mossy ground is so sweet, a perfect escape from the dust of the street. I close my tired eyes and I listen to peace, finding a wonderful quiet release. Before I must enter the city once more and walk through my own heavy door. A beautiful garden that's hidden away from all of the noise and the rush of the day. A place where the flowers can bloom in the shade, where memories never will fade.
Ink staining my index finger, The smell of the paper is sweet. I write down the feelings I cannot explain in this journal so worn and complete. The words are a mirror of me, of who I once wanted to be. Each sentence a step on the road, carrying all of my load. These are the pages that hold all my tears, the hopes and the dreams of my younger day years, a record of loves that have come and have gone, while the clock on the mantle ticks on. I read through an entry from June, when I was just 20 years old. I laughed at the things that I worried about, and the secrets I proudly had told. How simple the world seemed back then, armed with a paper and pen. We grow and we change as the seasons depart, but writing it down keeps it close to the heart. A library built out of sorrow and grace, locked in a quiet old place. I close the old book and I tie up the strap, letting it rest for a while in my lap. It holds all the versions of me that have died, and all of the secrets I no longer hide. A beautiful testament written in ink, giving me reason to think. These are the pages that hold all my tears, the hopes and the dreams of my younger day years, a record of loves that have come and have gone, while the clock on the mantle ticks on.
Some silver in the pocket of my heavy coat. My fingers brush over a crumpled old slip and a tiny handwritten sweet note. I pull it out into the light, remembering that snowy night, a ticket for two at the show from a winter of long, long ago. Just a small relic of days that have flown, a beautiful secret that's entirely my own, a token of warmth from a season of cold, more precious than silver or gold. The handwriting looks just like yours, so hasty happy to hold this small sheet as I wander along on the street. Just a small relic of days that have flown, a beautiful secret that's entirely my own, a token of warmth from a season of cold, more precious than silver or gold.
Climbing the steep spiral staircase up to the top of the world. The city is spread like a carpet of light, with a banner of nighttime unfurled. The chimney pots stand in a row in the silver blue evening time glow. The wind is so cool on my skin as the celestial dances begin. Looking at stars from a rooftop so high, watching the satellites wandering by. We are so small in the scheme of the night, under the beautiful heavenly light. You point to a bright constellation and tell me a mythological tale of lovers who turned into stars in the sky, with a beauty that never will pale. I listen with joy to your voice, making me feel I've a choice. The streets down below are so noisy and loud, but we are above all the mechanical crowd. Just you and me and the infinite space in a beautiful heavenly place. Safe from the reach of the citywide storm. The lights of the tower are starting to blink, giving us both a sweet moment to think how lucky we are to be standing right here, with all of our boundaries so clear. Looking at stars from a rooftop so high, watching the satellites wandering by. We are so small in the scheme of the night, under the beautiful heavenly light.
glass catches the candlelight. The liquid is heavy and red. We sit in the corner of this little booth with so many things left unsaid. The music is soft in the room, dispelling the cold autumn gloom. A bottle of vintage '94, could we ask for anything more? Sipping our wine as the evening grows late, leaving our worries and questions to fate. A taste of the oak and the dark summer fruit, while the voice of the singer is mute. Your eyes have a sparkle of gold, reflecting the flame on the wick. We talk about art and the places we've been, as the clock on the wall starts to tick. The bottle is half empty now. We share a quiet, silent vow. There is no need for a grand compromise when I can see all the truth in your eyes. Just two quiet lovers with nothing to prove, as the shadows begin to move. The waiter brings over a plate of dark sweet, with berries and cream for a late evening treat. We laugh as we share the last bite with a spoon, under the light of the silvery moon. A beautiful night in this cozy cafe, where all of our troubles just melt far away. Sipping our wine as the evening grows late, leaving our worries and questions to fate. A taste of the oak and the dark summer fruit, while the voice of the singer is mute.
He squeezes the bellows so gently, an old wooden instrument worn. He plays a sweet waltz on the corner of street, where a million new dreams have been born. His hat on the pavement is small, against the brick boundary wall. A handful of coins in the tin, as the evening time dances begin. Play us a song of the old-fashioned days, of lovers who wandered in mystical ways. With every small note that you squeeze from the wood, we feel all the things that we should. The tourists are stopping to listen, captivated by the sweet sound, forgetting their cameras and maps for a while as they gather in silence around. The music is keeping us warm, amidst the approaching cold storm. He plays with his eyes closed so tight, lost in his own private world of the night. A master of memory, beauty and grace in this busy and crowded old place. A drop of gold coin in his battered old hat, and offer a smile for the tune and all that. He nods in appreciation and starts up a song that I have been humming for ever so long. A beautiful link to a time that has fled, with so many sweet paths left to tread. Play us a song of the old-fashioned days, of lovers who wandered in mystical ways. With every small note that you squeeze from the wood, we feel all the things that we should.
Begun to depart. A green tiny bud on the branch of the tree brings a hope to my heavy old heart. The sun is a welcoming sight, with its gentle and warming up light. The cafe has opened its doors, polishing up all the floors. There is a feeling of spring in the wind, now that the cold winter months have all ended. A promise of beauty and laughter and grace in every familiar quite early, before all the traffic has started. The water is clear as a mirror of blue, like a beautiful painting of art. I breathe in the fresh scented air, without any worry or care. The seasons will turn as they always must do, bringing us back to the things that are true. And now that the April is finally here, the path is so open and clear. I see you approaching from over the square, with the sun shining bright on your beautiful hair. We smile as we meet in the warmth of the day, with nothing but sweet things to say. A brand new beginning is starting right now, with a quiet and beautiful vow. There is a feeling of spring in the wind, now that the cold winter months have all ended. a promise of beauty and laughter and grace in